On this episode of Breathe Between Battles, we're talking about friendship. The real kind. The kind that stays, the kind that learns, and the kind that sometimes doesn't know what to say but shows up anyway. We'll talk about how to approach someone with disabilities, how to teach kids to lead with kindness instead of fear, and what it actually means to support a friend who's walking through something heavy. Because friendship isn't about fixing things. It's about standing beside someone while they're trying to figure it out. Did you notice anything new on the podcast? I noticed a little something. I want to give a shout out to my very good friend, Hughes Taylor. You guys should check him out. He made that for me. I cried the first time I listened to it, and then I cried the second time I listened to it, and then I made my dad listen to it, and then he cried too. So if you don't have a friend who, first of all, who's already a rock star, that sucks for you. But if you don't have a friend who's a rock star who will write a song for your intro to your podcast, you got to get one. You can't have mine. Have somebody else. So yes, check out Hughes. He is incredible and a great friend. And that brings me to the theme of this episode, friendship and community and how to be that person. I feel like my last two have really talked about me and my story, which is great. I could talk about me and McCrae all day, every day, but I want to help you as well. Also, shout out to you for being so patient with me while I am learning how to even record a podcast and what I'm doing. I do have a lot of technical difficulties. I don't like the fact that I can hear myself breathing. I'm going to figure that out. Hughes is going to help me. So soak it up. Listen to it now. Listen to all my P's and T's and breathing because hopefully after I have a crash course on podcasting with my very good friend Hughes, who you did just listen to, you won't hear them again. So soak it up. Okay, let's get started. Friendship is tricky. It's something that we all need, but sometimes we don't know how to do it right. Not the kind that is based off of convenience or small talk or just being nice in a grocery store, letting somebody pull out in front of you, things like that, or recognizing, I don't know, a parent from school. This is different. This is the kind that sticks around. This is the kind that looks you in the eyes during your hardest season and says, I don't have the right words for you, but I'm not going anywhere. I've been thinking a lot about what it means to be a good friend, especially after spending so much time at the Ronald McDonald House down in Florida. That place, wow. It was full of people walking through things that you can't imagine. Oh, how often do I hear, I can't imagine, I just can't imagine. But everybody's going through something there. I mean, you're at the freaking Ronald McDonald House, okay? And yet there's laughter in the kitchen. There's kids playing in the hallways, on the playground, and there's this unspoken understanding that we're all just trying to make it through another day. When I lived there with Lottie while McCrae was in the CDH unit, I met families from all over. Moms, dads, grandparents, siblings, all trying to find a little bit of normal in between hospital visits and updates. Even in that space where everybody was technically a stranger, friendship happened fast because it had to. You don't have time for small talk when you're in survival mode. You just jump straight to, how are you holding up? Do you need anything? I'm about to go to the grocery store, because there's like 3 people there that actually have a car since we just walk to the hospital every day. Yeah, that's the kind of friendship. That is the kind of friendship that changes you. And this is not a diss on any of my back home friends, because I'm going to get into that as well. If I had to record a podcast shouting out every single person, it would be here for hours. I actually tried making a list, and I was trying to separate it between hospital, nurses, Ronald McDonald friends, back home friends. And then I started crying, and then I had a complete mental breakdown. So how about we talk about my special people when I'm ready and just respect that, okay? I'll get to it later, I promise. I've learned that not everybody knows how to show up when somebody is going through something hard. And trust me, I get it. I'm even that person. People freeze, okay? Fight or flight. And so many people fly. I don't know if you can tell that I fight, and that's a lot of the reason why I'm recording this podcast in the first place. They worry about saying the wrong thing, so they just don't speak, or they disappear forever because they just didn't know what to say and didn't want to add to your burden. And I want to talk about what you can say. If you've seen my TikToks or you're friends with me on Facebook, I have touched on this before, and I think a lot of that was focused on what to say or what things you can say or how to talk around grieving parents or somebody who has lost a child just like yesterday. I want to talk about what you can say during the battle, not even after. Also, my cat is going bananas. So if you hear a cat running around, I don't know if I can edit that one out. I'm sorry. But I want you to know that sometimes the smallest gesture means the biggest. I mean, it leaves a lasting impact. So let's start with kids, okay? I've had a lot of people ask me, what should my child say if they meet a kid with disabilities or see a kid with disabilities? I don't want them to say something wrong. First of all, thank you for asking me that. I mean, I've asked that same thing. And I always tell them, just let them ask questions. Let kids be kids. Curiosity is not cruelty. I need you to know that. It's actually how empathy begins. If your child notices another kid with a trach or a feeding tube, or if they're in a wheelchair, that is okay. Noticing is step one. You can say, hey, you can ask them about it kindly, or let's learn about what that is together. I'm not saying you have to go home, pull up PowerPoint, and just start putting disabled kids and being like, this is normal, this is normal. Don't not look at them. That's not what I'm saying. But avoiding the topic teaches kids that disabilities are something to ignore. Talking about it teaches them that everybody has a story worth understanding. And you know, kids say the darndest things, okay? And they're going to be very honest with you and whomever. And it's not about saying the perfect thing. It's about making sure that the other child feels seen, not just stared at. Okay? Different. So let me see if I can come up with an example for you. Okay, so say you notice that they have some type of medical device or difference. I'm sure they wouldn't mind it if you walked up to a kid, if your kid walked up to them and said, hey, that's a really cool chair. Does it help you get around faster? And then the conversation just opens. Or what is that tube for? My mom says that it helps you eat. Is she right? Let me hear about it. That sticker on your machine is awesome. Can I get a sticker like that if you see a vent out there? If I've never seen that before, can you tell me about that? What is that? It doesn't mean you're weird. Why do you have that? It's just teach me so I can learn. And if they're not sure what to say, or if that is too bold, because I always start bold because I'm a bold person, you can just say, hi, I'm Chloe. Do you want to play with me? Can I sit with you? Do you like coloring? Do you like cars? Do you like Pokemon? Whatever you want to say. Just find a shared interest. Kids are going to make friends with anybody. Or if the other child can't respond verbally, because I know that that was a very specific situation, then you can just tell your kid to smile, to wave, to offer a toy or a sticker. And I've been in this situation before, and you might even hear mom and dad say, hey, he might not talk like you, but he still understands and he still likes to play. Okay? Just see them and really see them. So, what parents can say to their own kids in the moment, you can ask questions kindly. It's okay to be curious. Everybody's body works a little differently, and that's part of what makes people interesting. Let's go say hi. They might really like that. Things like that. And I'm sorry if I'm all over the place. I'm just trying to teach you and give you as much as I can. And my brain is doing some crazy stuff. So, when it comes to adults, to being friends with somebody in these very heavy seasons during these battles, the same thing applies. You don't have to fix it. You don't have to come up with this grand plan or a solution. You don't have to send the perfect comforting quote or the perfect Bible verse for the situation. Sometimes the best thing you can say is, I don't know what to say, but I love you. Or do you want to talk about it? Or do you just want to sit here? And that is what it means to show up as well. It's not about solving this battle that they're in. It's about breathing beside somebody while they're fighting it. Just be with them. Oh my gosh, my person, Ashlyn, I'm not a touchy-feely person. Everybody who knows me knows that I'm not. Physical touch is like the last of my love language list. And after McCray died, there's so much I don't remember, but one of my first clear memories is her just climbing in bed with me and holding me, and it grounded me. I could hear her breathing, I could hear me breathing, I could hear both of us crying, and just being there. There's nothing you can say. There's nothing perfect you could say, or I would tell you right now to prevent so much heartache. But just being there, even saying, I love when people say I don't know what to say. Sorry, tangent. Anyway, when McCrae was in the hospital, some of the kindest things people did were they were so simple. A message that said, I'm thinking about you, no need to reply. Somebody dropping off snacks at the front desk because they knew that I wasn't eating. I actually had somebody from my childhood church drive all the way to Florida with a basket and just dropped it off at the front desk of Ronald McDonald and dipped. Did not even expect a visit or anything. Wow, that was just amazing. A friend sending me something funny and being okay with the fact that I might not respond for 3 to 5 business months, okay? And that's something we all can do no matter what somebody is going through. I got so many letters from random people. I've kept them all. I'm looking at them right now, actually. They're right behind me. Everything. I mean, going home, telling your church, and then your church sending a letter, we're praying for you. I read them all. I got them all. It means so much. Gosh, getting mail. So if you are in this very specific situation where you have a friend and they had to move away for their kid's condition, temporarily or forever to be at a better hospital, send them some mail. Everybody loves snail mail. Everybody loves it. We had this one mom on the unit, Tori, shout out to you, Tori. She just got everybody's coffee order and she would go get coffee, and then we would have coffee together as parents. And then we would have coffee and conversations together with the social worker. And the community you build, you're clearly going to build one in a NICU or if your kid is getting a transplant or if you have a cancer kid. Yes, there's those medical communities that are there that you're going to build right then and there and bond. But man, it's coffee, and it just meant so much, and it made that feel so much less isolating for a mom alone in a different state without her family. Wow, that was so kind. There's so many things, and I was thinking of so many examples, and I just can't come up with them off the fly right now. I definitely should start taking notes and preparing for these podcasts more. Let me apologize for that. I'm going to have a special episode dedicated to Ronald McDonald and things you can do if you have somebody in that situation. So I don't want to go too far off that because I'm already running pretty late into this podcast. So there's another side to friendship that we don't talk about enough, and that is when it changes. Sometimes when you go through something so big, like a loss or this traumatic experience, a medical crisis, the people that you thought would be there just aren't. And it hurts. I mean, it's so easy to get angry, especially after loss. There's somebody I had friends who were really good friends of mine who still have not spoken to me. I had a bridesmaid in my wedding who still has not spoken to me. And I'm like, wow. And that hurts. It's confusing. It feels like betrayal. It makes you question your worth or whether you're too much. And then you're self-doubting and blaming yourself. And I know it's so easy to be on the other side and to be listening to this and be like, Chloe, no, that's not true. Chloe, no. I'm telling you from my point of view. But I've come to realize something. It's not always about blame. Some people, they cannot handle being that close to pain. And that is so true. They mean well, but they don't have the emotional tools for it. Wow, that's so accurate. When McCrae first died and people would just come to my house, sometimes they would catch me. A lot of times people would just drop stuff off and leave, and I loved that. But sometimes the timing would just be perfect, and I would make eye contact with them, or even in a grocery store post McCrae. It actually just happened to me. McCrae has been gone since January, and it just happened to me at my son's trunk or treat at his preschool. I had a mom just look at me, and we just made eye contact, and then she just immediately started crying and hugged me. And that is such a thing that sometimes people can't even handle being close to your pain, even if they're not experiencing it. And I cry for them because I know that it hurts and I know that they care. But that doesn't make your need for support wrong. It just means that their capacity was smaller than what your current season required. But that doesn't mean you don't have to be friends. Okay? It's giving grace on both parts. And even though that realization stings, it also creates space. And that space is space for the right people to walk in that season that you need them. I have new friends post McRae, and that friendship is incredible too. And this is not like I'm never going to be friends with these people again, because I've actually had conversations with somebody who I was very close to, and she was like, I saw how much you were hurting, and I did not know what to say. And I chose, she said, and she disciplined, I mean, she got onto herself. She's like, I should have said something. And now I realize me saying nothing hurt you. She's like, I did not want to be the one to add to your burden if I said something stupid and that be the thing that ruined your day. If you were finally having a day where you got out of bed and then I said something stupid and then you just relapsed and went back to bed. And so she really gave me that perspective. And I never even thought about it that way because I wasn't at the emotional capacity myself to even think about what other people were thinking and their intentions. So I really appreciated that. And so that just is proof that if you don't talk for so long during this, it doesn't mean that you're never going to talk to them again, that they don't care. Maybe they just don't know how to care. And that is why we are here. Because the truth is that friendship changes as we do. Some people are meant for certain chapters. Others stay for the whole book. If you're lucky, and I mean really lucky, you're going to meet those few souls who aren't scared of your battles. They sit with you in the waiting rooms. They cry with you. They laugh with you. They pray with you. They don't disappear when things get hard. They crawl into bed with you. They just breathe next to you. They freaking fly across the country from California to North Carolina to help you clean your house before your husband's birthday. You will meet the people. God will give you the people. I'm telling you. And that is sacred. That is love in action. So if you're listening to this, maybe you're the one in the middle of a storm right now, or maybe you're trying to show up for somebody who is. Either way, I want you to remember that you do not have to be perfect to be present. You just have to care enough to stay. And maybe that's the whole point of friendship. Not fixing the fight, but choosing to breathe together between the battles. I'm Chloe, and this is Breathe Between Battles, episode 3. Thank you for listening, and please do not forget to check in on your people today.